Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. As you are aware, as most of you are aware, those who have watched our previous versions, we started out with explaining this layout, and we agreed that we are going to design using Solidworks the items that are found in the layouts. If you haven't checked the other videos, you might as well go ahead and watch, because we have made a couple of steps, and we explained the whole layout, every item. Now we are in the designing, and already we have done this item, which is a draft sink, a receiving table. We have done the draft sink, we have done heavy duty trolleys, we have done dustbins. This item here is a digital weighing scale, and as we said, maybe just maybe we might design for the purposes of the layout the imported item. All the imported items we are not going to design, like the digital weighing scales. We have undercounters here, we have an oven, so many items. The imported ones, we are not going to be dealing with them, but we have several items which are fabricated. And having done that, today we are on ST1, which is dry storage rack, which is this one and this one. And also the same racks are found in the cold room area. The difference being that whereas the dry storage racks are solid, the shelves are solid, in the cold room they are perforated. So we are going just to do one solid rack, and for you to do the cold room's rack, all you need to do is to perforate the shelves, or if you have a perforated sheet, it's well and good. You can go ahead and design this CNC design, PDF design with perforations, but the bending and the cutting, notching and everything is all the same, just as for us to a solid rack. So this is the dimensions of the rack that we are going to design. It has a length of 1500 by 500, total height of 1800, and the height between shelves is 500, 500, 500. The bend is 30 millimeter, and it has a circular hollow section or legs, 4 numbers, which is dia 38. And there is a ground clearance of 180 millimeter for the purposes of washing. Now, if I may mention something real quick, some clients might want the rack to have upstands or on the 3 sides, even others on 4 sides, right? Depends on the preference of the client. You might find one wants upstand going all the way around, others want on the 3 sides. This depends with the client, okay? And another thing that I might say, this size is standard, the depth is standard, which is 500, but this size varies from according to the space that is where the rack is coming, whether it is coming in the dry storage area, the cold room, or the wash up area, or even in the hot kitchen itself. It varies from, you can do it from 1 meter all the way up to 2.3 meters. Yeah, 2.3 meters is ideal because of the size of the standard size of the stainless steel sheet. And the thickness of the material is 1.2. The thickness of the sheets is 1.2. Again, you don't want to do an heavy rack, because it's not, ideally it is not carrying a lot of weight, just veggies and things like that, plates, cutlery and all those kind of things. The design is very simple. We are going to create to design the top shelf and the mid shelf, and the others you just duplicate from the shelf, from the mid shelf. The difference between the top shelf and the other shelves being that, as you can see, there is a hole where the leg will be going through in the 3 shelves, but on the top one it is solid because you don't want the leg protruding on the top there. It will require you to start making, you know, some cap to cover the hole in the circular section. Alright, so without much ado, let us go ahead and open our Solidworks and start the design. So once your Solidworks is ready, you go to File, Open New Project, click on Part, click OK. And I'm using the metric system. As usual, I'm using the metric system. You can work with whatever suits you. Now you go to the top plane and start a new sketch. Center rectangle. Many a times sheet metal you will find that you will be using a lot of rectangles more than all these other icons, right? So the dimension, as we have seen, is 500 by 1500. Click OK, then go to sheet metal, base flange, thickness is 1.2, K factor, the bent-in allowance and the auto relief, they don't change. You know, the auto relief tier is pretty much good, and the K factor 0.5, maintain that, don't change anything there. Click OK. Then go to edge flange. Like I've said, this is a very simple drawing. It won't take a lot of time to do it, and we will be done. Like we mentioned, that bend is 30 millimeter. Click OK. Then create a 15 millimeter bend edge flange here. Don't know why it is always 15, but 15 is very much suitable. And again, if I may mention, the size being 500, the reason because you want to split your sheet into 2, so that you may, from one sheet you get at least 2 shelves, right? We are again trying to minimize waste of material. Sorry, I didn't change this bend to 15 millimeter. Click OK. Then once that is done, this is the top shelf. Once that is done, you come to this bend, start new sketch, hit shift, go into normal, sketch, circle, dimension it at 38.5. You don't want it to be, while you are inserting the leg, you don't want it to be so tight such that putting the leg there will be an issue. So give it an allowance of 0.5 millimeter or even 1 millimeter, so that right around it 0.5, because again, whatever works for you, because you don't want, the welding should always be from below, not from the top. I will show you once we are done with it. Now once the circle is done, click, sorry, I didn't exit the dimension. Click on the circle, click on this line, shift click on this line, then make it tangent, then again circle, and on shift this line here, make it tangent. That looks perfect. Then create construction lines from the origin. These lines are going to assist us in mirroring the circle construction line. Then select mirror entities, select the circle, mirror about this line, click OK, then select this circle again, this circle again, and mirror them about the other construction line, and there you go. We want to make a notch on this bend, okay, on the 15mm bend. So extrude and cut it by even 10mm, 5mm is still okay. There. So now your circular leg will go through this, and this is where you are going to do your welding, right around it. You don't want the welding to be seen from the top. Right, now the top is done. Go ahead and save it. File, no, save. Solidworks, we are on GR5. Create new folder, name it GR5, put a space, and you open it, open the GR5, name it 1 GR5 top. If you want, you can put it top shelf. That one is done. You go ahead, open new file, part, click OK. Repeat the whole process again. Top plane, new sketch, center rectangle. Work with that still. This is 1500 and this is 500. Sorry. 500. Yeah, that's about that. Go to sheet metal, base flange, parameters are still the same, exit, then edge flange, everything is the same. The only difference between this is that the notch is going through the shelf, unlike the other one which was going up to the bend. This one is going through the shelf, so the bend remains the same. It's 30mm. Click OK. Another edge flange for the 15mm bend. Yeah, 15mm. Okay, then do a sketch, new sketch there, hit space bar, normal, center circle, diet 38.5, click OK. Exit the scale, the dimension, select the circle and this line, make it tangent, then again circle and this other line, tangent, then bring in let us mirror, make the hole, then we mirror it through the planes. Extrude and cut, direction through hole, click OK. There you go. See, now the hole is going through the shelves. So if I go to right plane, front plane, and mirror, entities to mirror is the extrude and cut, click OK. See, the hole has been made. I just decided to show you some other way of doing it instead of, oh God, let us undo this. Like, you know, Solidworks has so many ways, so many different ways of doing things. You extrude the hole, you make the hole, then you mirror it along planes instead of making the sketch like we did the other side, with the top one. So this is mirror entities, and we are mirroring it against this plane. The front plane entities to mirror is the extrude and cut hole. See, the hole has been made. Now go ahead to the right plane again. Mirror entities. Entities to mirror is this mirror tool. Mirror tool, you can see the preview of the hole. That's pretty much, yeah. And you have your top shelf, your mid shelf, no, your other shelves done. Then go ahead and save. Part 2, we have GR5. Should we call it mid shelf? Whatever name works for you. Yeah, and finally, open new sketch, new part, start a new sketch, create the leg, top, circle from the origin, dimension it at 38 millimeter. This is standard for the circular hollow section, the stainless steel circular hollow section. Exit the sketch, go ahead and offset it to create where is the offset, to create the hollow part. It's 1.2, the thickness. They come in various thicknesses. You find others are 1.5. You don't need a 1.5. Again, you're trying to save on the cost of the rack, right? So because you don't want to sell a rack which is extremely costly because you used unnecessary materials. Extrude, rated feature, extrude, and the total height is 1800. Should it be? No, it shouldn't be 1800 because the grommet, the height of the grommet right there is around 30 millimeter, and you want to, yeah, to make it is adjustable. So this should be 1770 minus 30 of the grommet. Sorry, 1800 minus 30 of the grommet. That to get 1770. Click OK. Right. Save it as GR part 3, GR5, CHS leg. The reason why I normally save like that, it's because if you decide to place these items in a layout, and this one at the top, and you find like the rack as a part known as top, the sink as a part known as top, you have saved it as top, the table as a top. When you put them in one assembly, all these tops will collide, and they will, at the end of the day, you will have nothing. So it's better to give them names as per the item, right? Top, if it's top, stainless steel rack top, you know, or stainless steel worktop top, right? Just make sure the parts have different names. If all these items are going to end up in one place, make sure every part has a different name, right? Yeah, or you can figure it out. So that is that. Now we open file, we go to file, sorry, file, new, assembly, click OK. The first part we are going to bring in is the top shelf, then insert CHS leg, met. We are making them concentric. The leg should be concentric with this notch that we have made here. Click OK. Then the top part of the leg should be on the bottom side of the shelf, of the top shelf, right? That part, and you're done. You're done with that assembly. Right here. Now, if you decide to work with these planes, unless when you insert the first part, you center it to this plane, to the origin, this origin. See where our origin is? So, but it's not necessary. You have your top here and it is centered to the origin, so you can choose the planes as you want. You choose front plane, then linear component, not linear component but mirror components. This is the component we want to mirror. Right click, then the leg is there. Again, choose the right plane, mirror components, component to mirror these and these. Right click, legs are there, done. So insert component, mid shelf, click OK. Again, make them concentric. This hole and the leg should be concentric. That's nice. Then you go to dimension distance. This should be 500 from the top, this part here, this bend, and this 500, sorry, and you're done. Then you go to linear components. We want 3 of them. This is 500 also. This is 3. You are going to forgive me because of the noise that is coming from my neighbors. The component to pattern, there you go, the pattern is there. Done deal. And your rack is done. Your rack is done. Yeah. Let me insert, browse. I insert the grommet. You don't know where the grommet is. The grommet. I don't know whether I have a 38mm grommet, but if I don't have this, I think should be 32 grommet assembly. Open. Met. I think this is the 32 grommet. That make concentric with the leg, and we should have inserted this leg. We should have inserted the grommet before we did the mirroring. Now we are going to be forced to do mirroring again, which is still okay. This part to this part. See, it is dia 32 and this one is dia 38. See all the gaps that it has left there. So I don't know. That's okay. We go ahead and open this part, open part, this part. We edit sketch, dia 30, dia 38. We change this. We're trying to edit, my friend. Dimension 38 minus 2.4. Yeah. Save. It will change elsewhere, but hey, don't worry about. Yes. see, now it has failed. We can as well as open this part and change the dimension also. Be a lot of changes. What did we just do? This, we are editing that sketch dimension. It's driven. Just leave it. Right, so again we go to planes of the top and do the mirroring. Right plane, mirror components, component mirror is the grommet. Click OK, then go to the front plane again, mirror components, components to mirror is this and this, and your photo rack is ready. Now real quick, let us check the flat pattern, of the top. This is what you save. Yeah, this is what you save as DXF and to do the CNC. If you don't have CNC, you're doing it manually. You just notch with a grinder, right? You notch with a grinder. Might be a little bit cumbersome, and if you don't have CNC, actually this design won't work. It is very hard for you to notch. This is okay, this you can notch, okay? But for the mid shelf, yeah, mid shelf, let us open the mid shelf. Where is the mid shelf? Mid shelf, flat pattern. Now see, you have this notch, you notch this, you notch this, and you notch this. You make a hole here with a grinder, the diameter being 38. You're lying to yourself, my friend. So this design won't work if you are using you don't have a CNC machine. So what happens then? What happens is you will notch this part and the leg will be touching this there. As you do your welding here, that is where also you are going to weld. You will notch this part here. Do you understand me? This part, like let's see, sketch new. So the shells will be like retreating inside. Is that the right word? They will be protruding outside. The shells will be right in there, and the legs will be, well, I know you know what I'm saying. So how do you do it then? Sketch dia 38. Dia 38. No. Put it at the origin. Put it at the corner, the very corner there, and make it dia 38. Let us do dia 40 so that you may see, or dia 50 so that you may see. This is just for the purposes of showing you how the notch will be like. Okay. Can we extrude and cut? Extrude and cut through all. Yes. Don't know whether it will work because of the other cut. It won't work. Okay. So let us leave that at that. Okay. Let us not interfere with this because we have already done our assembly and this rack is okay. But real quick, yeah, this rack is okay. Real quick, if I might just do a very simple other top, want to take care of the people who don't have CNC machines. Show them how their rack will be like. 1500. edge flange. And this, all the shelves will be the same. Okay, no difference. No, this is 30. Edge flange. That's okay. Did we do what? Yeah. Sketch, new sketch. Dial 38. We didn't exit the sketch. Choose dimension 38. Extrude and cut through all. Now see how your notch will be like. Yeah, let me just complete this rack. Right plane, mirror entities, mirror entity to mirror is the extrude and cut mirror. That's okay. Then from the front plane, a mirror entity to mirror, extrude and cut. Sorry, what happened? Yeah, it's there. Then we can save it as 1A GR 5 non-CNC shelf. Yeah, so we go ahead and open. Let us first save the first assembly. Save these, save all as GR 5 and call it rack. With that having been saved, we can close it. We can close the other parts. We can close this shelf. We can close the mid shelf. Let us be left with these two. So we go to file, new assembly, and we bring in the top, the non-CNC shelf, and again we bring in the leg interchanging. Let's see if we met it concentric, whether it will work concentric. This and this. Perfect. It works perfect, right? And this part, this top, and this, right? Click OK. Let us bring in the grommet. Insert, browse, where did we see the grommet? The grommet is grommet assembly. grommet assembly. Right. Rebuild, come on. It is asking for rebuild because we changed. Remember, we changed the dimension. And I told you that will bring in some sorts of troubles with the trough, right? Because the trough has a diameter, the legs are diameter 32. Coincident relationship like this. Yeah, the reason why I did that is because when I'm mirroring, I don't want to come and redo again mirroring of the grommets. I want, once I mirror everything, the grommet and the leg, this and this, avoid repetition. Mirror components, this. Sure. So that is that. Now we do linear component, everything else remains the same. Component to mirror. And CNC top. Direction. Yeah, we have not chosen the direction. That is the direction. Why is it coming to 3? Did we do that? The other one? Oh, because the other one had a top, sorry. So this should be 4. Ah, exactly. With the others, we did linear these 3. We inserted this, then we linear this. But now that we are starting it from the top, so your rack will look like that. And actually, even with CNC machine, you can go for this design. Yeah, because with the other one, let us open it real quick. We save this, save all. We are saving it under what? GR5. And we put it CNC. Now this is a bit easy as far as fabrication and all that is concerned. Again, you can still use the top. Yeah, actually I should have imported that top so that you may avoid. Yeah, sure. I'm thinking, can we dissolve all this? Can we change the assembly? I'm thinking if we change this, let us import, we delete this. If I delete this, it will delete also the linear. It's okay. Let us insert component so that we do it right. Okay, we do it right. Top shelf, right. I don't know. Yeah, let us also delete all these. Delete, yes, just wall. So you, why are you remaining? You want to delete everything? Yes, and then we insert the leg. Okay, then we met concentric relationship, this one to this. Beautiful. Then this top, we are trying to avoid covering this, right? Don't want to spend more time in the fabrication, and also it will look neat. Good. That will look very, very, very neat. Now we bring in, what do we call it? Insert the non-CNC shelf. Make this concentric, mate. concentric, this and the leg. Perfect. Then this should be 500, and it should be from this to this. Good. Now you do your linear component. Yes, change this to 3 again. Direction, choose that direction, component to linear, that one. Perfect. Yeah, we bring in, is it necessary for us to bring in the grommet? Yes. Browse project, draft, grommet assembly, this, click OK. Met, concentric, but you know, we have done this before, so it shouldn't be a big problem to you. Yeah, because you followed the first assembly, you followed it really well, so this is just a walk in the park. And yeah, we were doing all this so that I may show you how clean this rack will be as opposed to the other one. Okay, as opposed to the other one. Now if we choose the top shelf and go for the front, then we mirror components, we mirror the leg and the grommet, click OK. Then we go for the right, we mirror components, mirror this, then the grommet, click OK. This might, I'm wondering, no, we shouldn't have mirrored them on the top plane, so let us undo this. Let's see, mirror 4, let us delete mirror 4. You can edit the plane. Can I choose which one? You realize something? The mirror is okay, the mirror plane is okay, the size of this rack is the one which is not okay. You should reduce this. Yes, you reduce this by 38. Let's see, open. I thought today we are going to make our tutorial would be a bit easier, would take the least time, but things are coming up and I wouldn't want to leave something unattended, you know. You start wondering why, because it might not be important for you, but for somebody else it is super important, right? We go to the non-CNC rack, updating. Sure, yeah, it was 38 because actually, should it be 38? Yeah, 38. And also here we are supposed to subtract by 38 also. See, the shelves are retreating inside. There is they are, is it retreating? What is the correct word there? This is our second language, and we came to learn how important it is, because now it is the language that we used to communicate. Like I said, our international community, whatever. What am I saying? English is not my language, right? So sometimes when you see me struggling with some of these things, just get the point and we move on. At least I have enough for communication, and communication is the most important thing, right? So I do communicate. I am communicating. Right, now take a look at this rack. So when you are doing the fabrication, the assembly now in the workshop, you are going to weld here, 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 and the 4 corners, right, on the top. Then you weld right around here, right around here, on the legs, okay? So no welding on the face, on the top face, so no polishing there. Only polishing will be here at the corners, okay? Now also, the reason why I said this rack is far much more beautiful and it comes out cleaner than the other one, whether you have CNC or not, you are not going to weld here because it is absolutely hard to do the cleaning, and also the notch has to be perfect so that there might be no gap. You don't want that to be hiding here. So where you're going to do the welding, right here between the shelf and the leg, that's where your welding will be, and a small weld under there. Here under, pickling paste, no polishing here, and this other side polishing, right? So this rack as opposed to the other one, I can't open I will close this and open the other one, because if I open the other one, they are sharing the same tops, issues, okay? We don't want that. So save this and you're done. So I would prefer this kind of notching other than the other one. Can we open the other one? Open GR5 rack here. Rebuild. Fine. Now you see, with this rack you will do welding here, and under the top doesn't change. Now as opposed to the shelf, the shelf, you will do welding here, and welding here. Then you will polish here, and as you're polishing, it is always very easy to touch with the tool these parts, because you are trying to polish this with a straight grinder, and it is not a small thing. The grinder is huge, easy to touch this, then you might find yourself ending up to polish the entire legs, okay? But if you are an expert, go ahead. At least this looks clean. Whatever, you choose one. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for the next tutorial. Thanks so much for your time.